Alrighty, we're live today.
Woohoo!
We've got some fun painting to do.
Yeah, we do.
Just wait a few minutes for everyone to get in here.
Yeah. See, you have some, here's your atomizer and your paints. All the things. Hope everybody had a good weekend.
Yes, I sure did. So we have one of our mini mushroom kits today that we're going to be painting. This is such a fun little project. You can do this twice because there are two included. Here's one that's not been painted, and here's one that has been, and these are super fun. You can do them in all different ways, so I'm going to be creating another example. But you can do the one with a friend or family member that loves to paint. It is really fun. So we want to make sure we included two so that you can either do it again or do it with someone else. So we really love these new minis and hope you do too. They're just really enjoyable, and they're a project that you can just sit down and paint and just do it. You don't have to have experience or any fancy tools or anything. You just pick it up and paint. So really quick, let me just show you what's inside. So you get a mini travel size brush here and mixing card. This mixing card is really helpful for blending your colors and also making sure that you don't use too much paint. So that's a nice thing to have in there. Once you open it up, you will see that on the back of this cover is your quick tips. So if you are not an experienced artist and you just want to know where to get started, then you can read this right here. And there's also, you can scan this code or go to that link if you want to see the class once you purchase one of these. That's a fun thing to definitely have on while you're painting, or just watch before you begin, so you know kind of where to start without having to wonder if you're gonna mess up or anything. It just gives you that little extra confidence. So it does tell you how to get started and some quick tips. We do have two videos right now. When you go to that link, we have the basics and then some more experienced techniques. So getting a little bit more advanced, just if you want to learn more about watercolor. So that's nice to have. You get two prints that are blank. I'm really struggling with my nails. I love having these long nails, but I tell you what, I'll be gripping for things and I can't pick things up. But I love that, like I said, there's two, so you can do one with a friend or do it twice on your own. Really nice to have. And then you have your colors. These are Holbein watercolors, and they're so nice. They have a great reputation. They are a favorite among watercolor artists. So we're starting you out with some premium supplies. So it is definitely a treat to be using these paints. Now, you might wonder, is that going to be enough paint? And trust me, these are rich, pigmented, beautiful, and they're going to last you for several projects even after you do this kit. There is quite a bit of each color. You can see we try to give you a good amount here that we know will last you. Another tip when you're getting started, use your mixing card. What we're going to do is take your colors, offload onto this palette, and use your colors from here. That's going to make your painting experience even better and make that paint spread even further. So that's really good to keep in mind. You want more water than color. If you go in really heavy, you can still fix it, but it's always best to work in light layers is what I'm learning myself. So we're going to go ahead and start painting now. You do have this little travel size brush and it's very handy. We've made some improvements from our first iteration of these kits and I love everything about it. This brush is really perfect for getting in those nooks and crannies, but also for doing the backgrounds, and I just love having this. Now, this mini kit is a great addition to our full-size mushroom kit. This is so much fun, so if you want to start small, you can test everything with this mini kit and then go ahead and get our larger kit. Or if you've already gotten this one, you can use this mini, and then you have 5 pieces total for your mushroom collection. So very fun. So these our larger kits come with 4 projects, your 6 watercolors, same palette here, and a brush. So the brush you're getting with this kit is our little bit larger, where is it? I just lost it. Well, you're getting a nice brush in that one too. It's very, oh, here we go. It is very nice. So you do get an upgraded brush here, but it is on the same paper. You're getting the same amount of paint, and you just get 4 unique projects in each of these. And we do have the mushrooms. We also have butterflies, little farm animals. There are several different kits you can choose from with more on the way. So you can check those out. Another tool I'll be using is our watercolor atomizer. This is so helpful for watercolor painting. You can use this little atomizer in several different ways. So I have it filled with water here. And this is just a nice fine mist spritz that you can go ahead and wet your paints. I'm going to use a palette that I was already working with. So you can see I've already swatched my colors here, so we can see what they look like. That's really helpful. Then you also have this butterfly that you can paint just to give you some practice, so you're not starting from nothing. You do get to test those out. So I'm just going to wet my paints, just give a little spritz. This paper does hold up to quite a bit of water, so you can spray this and then your paints are ready to use. You don't have to use as much water when you're dipping, so it saves you time in that regard. Here's one that I've already finished, and I think I want to go a different route. Here is another example, which I really love. So I'm thinking maybe leaning into some more reds. I don't know. Feel free to give your suggestions in the comments as I paint, and you can kind of help me along. But we're just gonna have fun and experiment. I usually don't go in with a plan. I just start painting. And that's what I enjoy. That's why I think painting is so much fun, because I like to just go off the cuff a little bit. So here I have my mixing card. This is going to be in the corner. Well, I'll just go ahead and use this one because this already has some green and some blues on it. So maybe we can use this and go in with that greenery. You'll also see I have a water basin here. This is a great little water to have your water in here, because this can be used for multiple ways. So we do have these basins that you can get at grisaille.com, and you can either fill them with water or use this as a mixing palette. So you'll see that you can either use this mixing card, but I will be also using some of those paints, and this is perfect for mixing. So I love it. It's really fun to use, and they're so cute because they're little hearts. So you can get one of these or you can get 2, but I like to use both. So I will be using these little basins, my atomizer, and just the supplies are included in the kit. So let's go ahead and dig in here. I think we'll do the greens first, since I already have green ready to go on my palette. You can see that I've added a little bit of blue to my green, so I love mixing colors. If you know me, I love mixing. I think it's the most fun part about art. So I like to use some of this lime with this blue, and you can see what those look like here. And just kind of switching up my greens a bit to give some more depth and dimension. So this will just start right here for this little fern. Maybe it's grass, maybe it's a fern. It could be whatever you want. So I'm just going to fill this in using a good amount of water. Half the battle with watercolor is just knowing how much water to use, and you do figure that out pretty quickly. So that's the good thing, is it's kind of fun to just experiment, but you always want to start out having more water than color, so that way you're not putting too much there at once. And if you're watching, feel free to tell me where you're watching from and if you enjoy painting. If you've ever painted before, or what kind of artsy, crafty stuff are you into? I love learning more about you guys and just really like the feedback. So like I said, this brush is perfect size for getting in these little blades of grass. I love it. So I'm gonna do some even more of a bluish green over here. I think one of the mistakes beginners tend to make is just not mixing and just using your standard kind of primary colors, but it's so much more fun and gives you some more depth when you mix your tones and just get some different hues in here. It just makes your work look more expensive. And who doesn't want that? So here I'm just kind of painting in these different leaves. And I think, well, let's do a little bit here. I think now I'm going to add a little bit of more yellow green. So I'm going to go in with lime. You can use it straight from the palette, but then you're kind of going in blind. You don't know how much paint exactly is on your brush. So once you put it on here, or if you want to use your basin, you can see here the paint does kind of bead up, which is fine. You can still see this, but with the basin, see, it might be too bright. With this basin, it doesn't bead up, it just spreads evenly because these are porcelain or ceramic. So you can really see it kind of spread, get a more accurate look of what that color looks like and how much paint you have on your brush. So love that. So I think I'm going to put this aside and use the basin so you guys can also see kind of what I'm mixing up over here. Thanks for the thumbs up. Alright, so I'm going to just fill in these leaves. Oh, I love this lime green. It's like my favorite shade of green. It's really beautiful. And I really just love mixing my greens, creating some different colors and mixes, and just gives, you know, a more realistic look when you mix up your greens. That way your artwork doesn't look flat. You've got some different colors in there. And just remember when you're going in with your initial colors that that's just the base layer, and you can always add more. You can always shade later. So it's okay if things look a little flat. You just trust the process.
Is that better? Let's see.
So here's what I've
I love that.
done so far.
I love those different tones of greens. Those are awesome. Looks so good.
So I like to get a couple different colors that I'm using on my palette.
Nice.
So that way I can just kind of easily go from one color to the next. And it's okay to not have things perfectly blended, and I think that's what beginners can kind of struggle with, is just let it
Makes
be
it charming.
You know, just let it be splotchy. That's how you get that really charming, illustrative look.
There's some paper towel here.
So here I'm just like to go along the lines on the leaves. And we'll add some more here. Do a little bit of lime. Thank you.
So cute.
Let us know where you're watching from. So I'm just adding a little bit more color towards the base of these this little grass area. Okay, so let's see, I'm gonna do some red. Gonna get some red mixing right here. I love red mushrooms. So I'm just going to, and you can see how pigmented and beautiful this paint is. I really love the red because it's just so intense and so beautiful. I love watching it get on the paper. Just once you blend, it's just gorgeous. Such a nice red. And another trick is to get the proper amount of pigment that you need and start in one corner and then kind of get lighter as you go to the next. That way you're already kind of doing your shading in one swoop. And you just kind of want to start with your color more intensified. Oh, I went slightly over the line, which is okay, but let's see if I can pick that up a little bit. Paper towel is your best friend when it comes to doing paintings. Even if it's already dried a little bit, it's okay, because we can just dab a little bit of water on there and it'll come up. So you can see I'm going from dark to light. And then just kind of choosing where you want your imaginary light source to come from. So if the light's coming from here, then we're going to have it more shaded on this side. Was it bad?
No, I just needed a little quick there. If you want, you can use some washi tape.
Okay. So if you want to keep your artwork in place, you can put a piece of tape down, little washi tape, so it doesn't damage your paper, and then just press it there so that way it doesn't move. So I'm just going to do that. You can either do all your mushrooms kind of the same color or all different. So I'm choosing for my light source to kind of come from this way, so we're going to do a little bit darker on one side. I think that really helps to have slightly more of a 3D or more realistic look. So I do enjoy doing that. And then you can kind of decide, do you want the same color for the whole thing, or do you want this to be lighter? Maybe we'll do it lighter, and I'll just kind of get this mushroom over here. And you can use the same color, but depending on how much water you use, it can be a different tone. So this is like a really light red, almost a pink. And then you could do one like really dark too. I'm just gonna put a little bit more red here. So fun. And then you can kind of let it be splotchy, because then it gives it some texture. If everything's smooth, then it's not as fun. You know, you want a little bit of texture. So sometimes just kind of do a little bit of splotch, and I feel like that already just improves it. So I'm gonna keep my paper towel on hand so I can then make sure it's clean. And then we'll go in with, we're gonna mix this red and yellow together, kind of make an orange. Actually, since this color is so light, I think I want some more intensity, but this is the perfect color for the stems of our mushroom. So I'm gonna pick that up and just kind of spread that around. It's perfect. And like I said, it can always be a base color and then you add darker shades on top. So a little bit of red, a little bit of yellow. Mix this together. And then we'll do a little bit more shading on this side. See how when you kind of leave it splotchy on one side, how it looks like more realistic shadow? I love that. And it's all just depending on your style and what you like. I'm gonna go in very light for that base color. But I love shading, it's my favorite part. This whole mushroom is going to be kind of brown. I'm going to add a little touch of brown over here. So I want this one to be a little darker. Mushrooms are so fun to paint because you can try all different colors, textures, all the things, and it feels very relaxing because it doesn't have to look perfect either. And like I said, I like a little texture. Just gonna dab this around a little bit. And I love that. And let's see. What kind of color should we do here? Maybe more of like a purpley red. So let's get some more red. And a little bit of purple. The purple does tend to darken colors. Purple just kind of naturally darkens a little bit. Ah, beautiful. I love that color. It's kind of like a wine shade. Very beautiful. And then I'm going to use this same color to kind of shade this one here. And then we'll go in with a little bit more purple. And then put some purple here. And then this red, I'm just going to shade even a little bit more. And it's so fun. I love watercolor. Every time I paint, I'm just like, oh, I love this. it's like it gives you that little boost of dopamine. It's satisfying to just see it kind of come to life little by little. I like that. So my mom Sally, she did this example, and I loved the splotchiness. So I'm kind of inspired by like the little spots. Mine are a little different, but I love just the flow of this and just the texture. It's really beautiful. And I did mine like this the first time, so it's a little bit moodier with the colors. Everything's a little bit darker and very smooth. So this time I'm going for a little bit brighter, a little bit more color, because I wanted it very earthy here. So I'm just trying to do some more pops of color, and that's what's great about having two come with the kit, because I want to try again, like I want to see what I can come up with. So I love that we include more than one, because everybody likes to kind of try again, see what do they like, because the first time you might not exactly know your style or what you might be going for, but then as you go, you're like, oh, actually I like a little bit more texture, I like a little bit more pigment, or maybe you did too much pigment and you're like, okay, lighter hand this time. Let's see. So it's all about experimenting, finding what textures you like, what colors you like, and that's what makes it fun. So if your first attempt didn't come out the way you wanted, don't be discouraged, because that's what this kit's for. It's for fun and experimentation and just learning how they feel, and just pay attention to the feeling and what you like. And just be inspired by those different things that kind of lead you to what you like. Like a lot of people like, I really love just wet on dry. Just putting wet paint on dry paper. Some people love wet on wet and they want to incorporate that. Sometimes I do that in the sky, but it's not, I like having a little bit more of a, I don't know, I like seeing the the paint dry on the paper instantly. That's like what's satisfying to me. And some people like a dry on dry, so using a mostly dry brush with dry paint, like just minimum. And I like the feeling of putting this paint on the dry paper, because it does dry so quick with the hot press paper. We use Legion paper for our kits, and it is very nice because it's so absorbent and it doesn't get all warpy and wavy like a lot of watercolor paints. So I super appreciate that, and I love using it every time. And I love seeing how quickly it dries. I think it's very satisfying. I love this. I love filling in like little nooks and everywhere. Some more shading. I love that. What do you guys think? How does it look so far? Like I said, I'm going for more texture this time around. More shading, some more just kind of loose. So I'm kind of letting this be uneven, because then it looks like real wood. I hope everyone had a really nice weekend. Mine was so much fun. I spent a lot of time out in nature, and this is just reminding me of some things I saw on my little road trip this weekend, where I stopped at some really beautiful spots in Virginia. I'm from North Carolina, and my husband and I went on a road trip to Virginia, and I saw just some gorgeous gorgeous landscapes, and I was really making it a point to, I do this all the time. I look for how many flowers I can find. And as we're walking on some of the trails, I was collecting flowers as we went. And I like to press flowers in like, I don't know, maybe this sounds like weird. But I like to press flowers and see how many different kinds I can gather and like collect. And I think that flowers are just so beautiful, and I'm super into flowers right now, and I love spring, and I love seeing what kind of things bloom, and knowing that some things just bloom for a time and then they go away. It always hurts my feelings a little bit, because I'm like, no, it's so pretty, but there is a life lesson in that. You know, we should always stop and appreciate the beauty around us, because things are always changing based on the season, and not everything will always be there. So we have to stop and appreciate nature when we can. And that trip just made that very known to me, and I just loved it. And it is so fun to like find different mushrooms. I didn't see too many mushrooms while I was there, but definitely it's because we're in a drought over here on the lower East Coast. So, you know, mushrooms like it really damp, and it has been dry and sunny everywhere. So all the mushrooms that we did have around kind of dried out. But it is a treat when you can find them. Usually here they're most prevalent, and I think most places very kind of something you see in the fall, because that's when it's more wet and still like kind of at the beginning of fall for us here in North Carolina. Because it's sunny and it's still a little bit warm, and it's kind of a wet season. But it depends, because normally in May it's already in the 80s and 90s here, and it has been cold. It's been like in the 40s and 50s, 60s, which is very unusual. And it's been dry and it's been sunny, which, to be honest, I don't mind, because I don't like the rain. I love it being sunny and being able to go outside as much as possible. It makes me sad when it rains too much. And what's great about these kits too is if you do travel and you go somewhere, it's easy to take with you. You can just carry it in your bag, and all you need is water. So if you wanted to stop somewhere and just appreciate nature by, you know, a creek or something, river, at the park, just grab some water and just paint wherever you are. And I think that that's so nice to have that option. You know, it's not something you need a whole lot of supplies for, and it's something you can get done quickly. You don't have to start from scratch. Which I've just been so busy lately, I can't imagine having to start from scratch every time I paint, because when I do get the urge, I just paint one of these. And I really enjoy the lack of prep that it takes, because, for example, I love to cross stitch, but I never do it because it is a time-consuming activity, which is super nice in the colder months, or, you know, times where you don't have too much going on. But when you have a lot of things begging for your attention, but you still want to make time to create, sometimes you just want something quick. And I think for this, it's kind of like a ladybug, but I think I'm going to make them orange, because I feel like we need a pop of real orange here. And sometimes they are orange. There we go. Ah, that made me happy. This is so fun. I'm gonna grab a little bit of brown. If you want to make like a gray, try brown and purple. Brown and purple make this like, let's see if I can swatch it on here. The more purple you use, the more kind of grays this out. And especially if you use like a touch of green, then it really kind of dulls down the brown. So if you use like purple and green, those two colors cancel each other out. And then you get more of a gray. And then if you add some brown in there, then we'll be able to get the color that we want. I really want to make a video just kind of on the basics of color mixing and touch on color theory, because I think it is so fun. See, now we've got our blackish gray. Oh, hi Lisa! First time catching you live on here. Love the new kits. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, and I'm glad that you were able to catch us. That's awesome. I'm just here painting our woodland mushroom kit, and I love it. It's so fun, and I definitely like the improvements that we've made recently. It makes it that much more fun, because for those of you who aren't familiar, we've been making these kits for a bit now, but this is a relaunch. So we now have like cleaner line art and these new mini kits. So what's nice about the cleaner line art is you do have more space. You know, we kind of just cleaned it up, and it's even more fun to paint these now. I love it. So now I'm going to mix in this orange here so I can get that true brown back. And I love doing these swaths of color and seeing it blend. It is satisfying. And you can always leave the background white if you want. You don't have to fill it in, like the sky, but it is fun. You know, adds that touch of color. I need to go in and do some work on these leaves a little bit. So pretty, always so talented. Oh, Lisa, you're the best. Gonna make my day. I appreciate it. Truly anyone can do this. It really comes down to just color. You know, if you pick pretty colors, it's gonna come out pretty. If you choose colors that look well, that look really nice together, work well together, it's gonna look good. And I think another tip is just to kind of pre-select your colors and swatch them first, even if it's on the back of your swatch card. Take these colors and you can do like a mix between, so like make your orange, make your yellow, green. This is the Farm Babies one. But you know, just mix all the colors together and then you can swatch them here. And you know, on the side, and just kind of choose your palette, your colors, before you get started. Of course, you can use them straight from here, and we already made a curated palette for this. So you don't have to mix, you can use them straight from the palette, and we've already chosen colors that kind of are going to work well together. But if you want it to, you know, be even more cohesive, just experiment and blend. Yeah, and bigger images. These are 4x6 now, so they are standard framing size. They are larger, and let me see if I have like an older one to show you. So here's one of our other ones. This is brand new. We don't even have an older version of this one. But here's one of our other ones. And you can see it just has more lines and more detailed, kind of already filled out, and it's also more square. So compared to this, you know, it's bigger now and much cleaner. And there's also in our minis like a good amount of detail, which I love because it's fun to fill in. And even though this was super fun to paint, I like having more space, less lines, and then you can kind of fill in more of that detail yourself with the shading. So it is a good improvement. So if you're like, what, I don't understand what has changed. Well, we do have these Holbein paints we're using. Still using our Legion paper. They're just larger now. So just great materials in here. And we've also upgraded our brush. We got this cute little brush here. It is bigger than the ones in our other kits though, which were probably about that size. So it does have a longer handle, but it's still small enough to get in all of those detailed areas. Now I had a brush that was already wet. Where did it go? Did it roll off the table? Y'all know me. I'm always scattered. Oh, here it is. Here she is. Okay, let's see. Let's add a little bit of this lime green. And I love to add kind of a little bit of moss. Just going to do a touch of green here and there. So it looks nice and mossy. You can do this on top of the brown. Oh, I love just adding a little touch of that. So cute. I love moss. And I don't know if that's normal. If that's a normal thing. Do you like moss, Lisa? I just like how it looks, and frankly I like anything that's soft and fluffy. And moss is fluffy, and I like it. But anytime I see moss in anything, it just makes it look more magical. I don't know why. But I'm like, oh, moss. Magic. So I'm just going to add a little bit of green here and there on the ground. Since we've got some green going on over here, it just will kind of balance that out a little bit too. And another thing, you can always go all the way to the bottom, or you can stop here. If you know, we could call this done, but I like to fill in the whole thing, so we're going to fill in the whole thing. Yes, moss, clouds, all the fluffy things. Yes. I love clouds so much. And I like to add, well, let's do a little bit of purple and brown again. And just a touch of green. Just kind of deepen it. I love to kind of play with both warm browns and cool browns, so that's why I like to mix. And you can always do wet on wet if you want it to be perfectly blended. And just kind of flow into each other. But I'm just making my brush very wet as I apply this. Do you have a favorite revamped kit, Lisa? Or a favorite mini? What's your favorite mini that you've seen? And I'm just blending these browns together. And like I said, I'm just purposely being splotchy. Like I like to grab some more color and then just kind of dot it around and then smooth. And then dot it around. Just to make sure it's not perfectly blended. Because I used to make sure everything was like very cleanly blended as much as possible. But well, it's not as fun to me anymore. I like seeing kind of different bursts of colors mixed together. Here I'm just making a mess of my colors. Which is your favorite? I think my favorite, I don't know, it totally depends on which one I'm painting in the moment. Because right now, I love the mushrooms, but I'm a farmy gal, so I really like the baby llama. So cute. So at first I was thinking my favorite was the Flutterby or the farm babies, and now I'm doing this, and I'm like, but this is so genuinely so fun. I'm not even just saying that. It is so, like, I love it because you can do so many different colors, and I have to say, like, which one would I get first if I'd never painted any of them? Probably the baby llama, because I love baby animals. All of them are so cute. Hard to pick just one. You guys did a great job. If I had to pick a mini, it would be the llama. Farm babies are adorable. Yes! I agree. How can you not? How could you not love the babies? Also, Lisa, yesterday, my husband and I, it was his first time doing this. We went to a drive-through safari when we were in Virginia, and he had never done anything like that before. And he loved it. And I kid you not, he is trying to convince me to get a yak. They had yaks, and he wants a yak. I don't think I want a yak. I don't think we necessarily need a yak at this moment. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see about that. See, first it was ducks. He really wanted a duck. But we have like a dozen chickens. Do we need a duck? Maybe. We might. They are so cute. And I told him, well, they're messy. And he said, I don't care. And then he watched a video of somebody dumping out their duck's pool after a day. And it was, you know, they go to the bathroom in their water and they're all messy. And he's like, oh, maybe not. And I was like, I told you that they were messy. It's because I told him he would have to do it. Nice. I've always wanted to go on a safari. You have the space, get one. I love horses because you can ride them, you can, you know, take them to different parts of the property and graze them, and they're just, horses are interactive. I'm just like, I don't really know anything about yaks. It just seems like they're cute. But like, you know, what do you do? What do you do with one? And like pigs. Pigs are so just full of personality and so fun and personable, and you can let them out and they'll go back in their pens, and he's funny. He cracks me up. He's like, all right, well, I'm just saying, you know, if one day somebody shows up and they're unloading a yak off a trailer, like, I don't know anything about it. I was like, I don't know. Maybe one day we'll get a yak. I feel like if I were to get another animal, I would of course love another horse, because we did have 3, and one of them was, he lived to be in his 30s, but unfortunately he did pass away. And so now we have 2 horses, and I would love to get a third at some point. and especially a pony. Oh, I want a pony. I want a little baby pony or a mini donkey, because those are so cute. I feel like mini donkey would be like a good compromise. But at the same time, too big to ride one. So do I just get a regular donkey? How about I get a donkey and tell him that he has to break it? That would be entertaining. That's a good idea. So yeah, I love the farm babies. And I mean, I love them all, and I really love the kit that's coming out. Lisa, I don't know if you have caught any of our little sneak peeks of the kit that's going to be coming out next, but I think you're going to like it. I'm really excited. I can't say when it's going to come out, but it will be soon. Do you have a llama? I do not. They had several llamas on the little drive-through safari place. So many. But the thing about llamas is they always have their ears back, and I'm like, is that a happy hello, or are you very angry with me? I can't tell. They're so cute and they're so funny. Like, they just seem like they all have their own little personalities too. I do know a little bit about alpacas because there was a summer that I volunteered at an alpaca farm for a little bit and got to see them get shorn, you know, when they get shaved for their wool. And that was a very interesting experience. And I learned a lot about their spitting habits. Yeah. They do like to spit. Only when they're getting sheared, though. But I'm sure they do it to each other. But yeah, Lisa, if you haven't been to one of those, you gotta go. It is so much fun. Just, you know, I would say if you got a new car, maybe not the best idea because they left a few little scratches for us. But it was worth it. Like, we don't care. It was so worth it. It was so fun. I feel like that's become more of a common thing. It seems like they have them everywhere. I'm not sure where you live, but we have one in North Carolina that I've been to, but he had never been. So when we were on our road trip, we stopped at one that was really awesome. You could feed giraffes, and you could feed. They had an area with all these little birds that you could feed, and they would land on you, and that was so cool. So I definitely think it's worth it to go. Let's see, how long have I been painting? Almost an hour. See, I actually like this one because it has a bit more detail, and it makes me slow down. Because with some of them, and I've only painted this one once too, where a lot of the other ones I've painted a couple times already. So I'm just like legitimately having fun and exploring this piece. I'm not rushing this time because I'm having too much fun. Okay, so I'm just gonna drop in some blue here. Let me see if I need to, is that too bright? Oh, I don't want that dark either. Just want to make sure you can see it, but see these colors blend because it is very pretty. But definitely a goal for the summer, just spend more time in nature and like making time to appreciate everything. Because life gets so busy and time goes by so fast that by the time I'm like, oh, it's spring. Oh, wait, now it's going to be summer. And then if I don't do enough in the summer going outside, then I'll be like, now it's fall. And time just gets away from you. You gotta make time to do the things that you care about. So, can at least stop and make time to paint and appreciate nature through painting, and making your own creations is so fun. Don't you think so, Lisa? I don't know how often you paint, but I definitely would like to do it more in my personal time, which I do it pretty often, but then I paint again and then I'm like, oh, I don't do this enough. And it definitely tends to seem like a lot of the things we know we should be doing are the things we're not making enough time for. And I think creating is, although it seems like a selfish act, you know, like an activity, I mean, because you're just, you know, playing and having fun, I actually think it's really important to always be creating. It's super important. Because it's relaxing, and there's just this element to it that feels important, I think. And I don't think it's a waste of time. I don't think creating things can be bad, right? I think we need to make time for ourselves to do it, and these kits just make it that much easier because you don't have to prepare anything. You can just pick it up and do it whenever you want, even when you're on the go. So, if you want something that's quick, this is it.
I wonder if you could temporarily tone down the light so you can see it a little bit clearer.
Yeah. Yes, it helps us to get stress-free. It helps your mind just reset. It really does. I think that's good.
Let's just see. You can see it a little bit more. The blue? Yeah. See that?
All right, good.
At least you could see it. It looks really good.
So fun. So I'm doing wet on wet in sections. And then just kind of splotching it around.
I love that. It's so pretty.
And I've got a little bit of green mixed in my blue. So sometimes I go in with that, and then sometimes I go in with just straight up blue. And I love this shade too, it's so pretty.
It looks just even prettier in life than it does on the video.
Really?
Oh yeah, it really does. I mean, I think it looks good on the video, but just seeing it live looks so good.
Always love how you do the sky. I'm still practicing.
Yeah, that's so fun.
A lot of times I'll do it differently. Like I used to do it more smooth, and then Mom inspired me to just splotch it around and then add more water, and then you can kind of blend from there. But I love that technique. So just wet the paper and work in sections because you want to get dry. And then just splotch it around, and then you can add more water and blend it out.
And that's such a fun process, and that's just part of doing the art, you know, is like having fun doing it.
And it is so fun.
And that is really fun to do it that way.
This music is relaxing too.
I know.
It's got the birds chirping in it.
Oh, looks good. And I love that it dries so fast so that you can layer, or you can put it away when, you know, without worrying about it. Like acrylics and oils, it just takes so much longer to dry. Like, and this is, you know, with it being so quick to dry, it lets you do that in public or go, you know, someplace and work, and then you can just feel like you can pack up without having to wait.
Yeah, that's true. And I think it's so fun too when you bring your art somewhere, and then it makes people come up and ask questions, and it can be a good conversation starter.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it has been my whole life. I've, you know, drawing and painting, and I got that from my mom too, of just like, people are like, what are you doing? And you're like, oh, I draw or I paint. And then they want to see what you're making, and it's just a fun way to meet people.
Yeah,
too.
I think we should go live someplace in public.
Yeah, that'd be so fun.
Just do it there and see the reaction and capture that. Wouldn't that be fun?
Just doing a little bit more.
I love how, like, with every layer, it just keeps getting better and better. Like, let that dry, and then you keep going on top, and it's just like, oh my God, how do you keep making it better? It's just like, don't give up. Just keep working in layers slowly. And it just allows you to also correct quicker too, you know, because like if you mess up, you just grab your paper towel and dab it. And And we appreciate the likes, and if you can subscribe to our channel, we're trying to build it. We just got past the 1,000 mark, so anybody watching, that would be great. I know it's very hard to get people to subscribe, so we appreciate every single person who's done it.
Yes, we really do.
Because we haven't been on YouTube much, and so we're just trying to build this channel. So we appreciate you watching.
And I do notice when we get our familiar names in here, so always come back, and because I like to get to know you guys better. And
so if you want to say hi, don't be shy.
And just a little bit more green.
And obviously if you do click the bell, you'll be notified when we do go live again, because we don't have a schedule right now.
All right.
But if you do know anything about Whatnot, we are going to have a show tomorrow at 10 a.m. You can find us at Grisai on Whatnot. And we'll have some special offers there, some good deals. Our best deals are on Whatnot. Well, but that looks adorable.
Look how cute yours is, though. I love it.
It's just like you can always just make it so many different ways. And then you got to show this one too.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind going in with another layer of detail.
Yeah.
I think it would just get better. And here's my other one.
There.
So I do like this one over that.
And then you have to show it with your little frame. Let's get this out of the way. Show it with your little mat. Got to see the finished piece.
Yay! It looks so complete. Thank you, Lisa. Let's see if I... There we go. You can see a little bit better now.
Yeah.
Yay! Thank you. It always looks so good with a mat. You can get our mats at Grisai.com too, because they're the They're the perfect size for these, and it just makes it look all nice and finished. So again, this was our mini watercolor kit, Woodland Mushrooms. It's got this little guide to get started. It's easier than you would think. It's so fun. Comes with the paint, and you can see I barely dipped into this palette for my whole painting. So I've already used this probably my 6th time.
With just that paint dots.
Yeah, because
nice.
I painted all the mushrooms in our regular watercolor kit with this one.
Wow.
And look, still there's paint left.
Yeah.
Because you only need a little bit. A little bit goes a long way.
Yeah.
So
just use that card that's
in
included.
layers. So if you want to see the rest of our kits, go to chriseye.com. And you can get these water basins and this atomizer.
No, the water basins are not online yet, but I don't know when you'll be watching this, so it could be.
Yeah.
We do have it in our Whatnot show.
It is coming soon. And yeah, come join us on Whatnot. We're going to go live tomorrow.
10 a.m. Eastern.
So thank you for watching, and hope to see you soon. Bye.
Bye.